But moving into pop culture, we had the BET Awards, I think early this week, Monday or Tuesday, something like that. Very interesting, man. Very, very interesting. I guess I'm in the stage now where I'm starting not to know who all these artists are that go up there and perform. And this year, I feel like it took a big step back from last year. The kind of elegance and stuff of the BET Awards that we were trying to gain back, kind of took a step back this year. This one, I don't want to say was hella ghetto, but man, a lot of these new artists right now that aren't really known for their musicality, yeah, they did whatever they could to kind of show out, and it was really, really, really apparent at the BET Awards. I don't know, man. A lot of people had a lot to say on the red carpet. It seemed like a lot of people just were there just to show face, didn't really want to be there, and didn't really care what they said on the red carpet. Bow Wow was out there saying that the music right now is trash. Everybody wants to sound the same. There's no originality. There's no musicality. There's nobody who wants to be different. And you know, he doesn't think that in the next 10 years, any of these artists or the songs that they're putting out are going to be remembered like the artists from the past 10 years, 20 years that we kind of hold in high regard now. When we see them, we're like, those are those legends. We want to see full concerts from those guys, those girls, those women. But people are saying now there's not really those artists out there that are really memorable like that. They just come and go, have one hit wonders, or all sound the same, so they're not really memorable. And I agree to an extent. I feel like now it's just like whatever sounds the most successful, everybody's going to kind of try to gravitate towards that sound. A lot of my favorite artists, man, are trying to do that and appease to the other crowds instead of just making the same music that they always made. Just be original. Each project, make it different in your own way, tell a story, like the big artists do. Just but now people just drop music for the sake of dropping it, and sometimes you can really tell that it's not really new music. It's just music that they put out that didn't make albums, that are just mixtape songs. And I don't know, there's a trend now making songs hella short. Just have like a catchy ass hook. Just have a couple of verses, short verses, and then the song go off. I just don't know what's going on really. But the BET Awards, man, it is what it is. I'm personally hoping for it to be our own award show where we can take it seriously and hold it as high in regard as the Grammys and the Billboard Awards. But I mean, I don't know. Just seeing this one, I don't think it's actually gonna make it to being that way unless there's some drastic changes. I think there will be. I think it was Tyler Perry that just bought BET. So I think there will be some changes when it comes to the BET Awards and how it's actually ran and focused on nowadays, especially since he's involved. Maybe this is the last year of the previous owner in their setup, but um, they had a 50-year of hip hop um, tribute, which brought out a lot of stars. But I feel like they did that already, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't they do that at the Billboard or the Grammys or something like that? So I felt like for them to do it at the BET Awards was kind of redundant. A lot of the artists from each section, I don't think they actually had E40 on the Billboard one, I think, or whatever one they did before. I think it was Too Short, and they did a lot of the LA artists, but this one they actually had E40 on there. Um, it was cool. I liked it, but I feel like it was done before, and it kind of took the surprise away from the stuff that was going on. And sometimes it's kind of weird looking into the crowd and looking back and seeing, do these people actually know who these artists are nowadays? Like these people be so young. And I know back in the days they used to have the OGs in the crowd, and they would get excited when the older people come. They come out here and like perform it, like Cool G rap and shit like that. They are standing up and performing the old school raps. But nowadays, when you look into the crowd and the camera's pandering or panning around, do you think they really know this music? It's like these guys are up here just the OGs are performing and nobody really knows what's going on. You got Nelly or something that comes out and everybody knows Nelly because the generation is old enough to kind of know who Nelly is a little bit, but not the old Nelly. But it's just interesting, man. Like the double XL now, like a lot of artists on there, I don't know who the hell they are. Um, it's getting crazy. I'm starting to feel like, oh man, now like everybody else was feeling when the stuff was happening. I guess my ear is not to the streets no more like it used to be. When it comes to these mixtapes and these up and coming artists. It's just people from everywhere just kind of booming. When I'm on Instagram now, I just see a bunch of artists everywhere from this set, from this set, from this area, this area, this area that have thousands and thousands of followers, but didn't really hit mainstream yet. But I guess I got to get with it and do my research because if I'm not doing my research, I'm doing y'all a disservice. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm supposed to be, if y'all ain't up on it, I'm supposed to be up on it so I can help y'all out. But shit, it's moving a little fast for me. The names are getting similar. This music is getting similar. Everything sounds the same now, man. I feel the artist when they say that. Busta Rhymes there got a award for the Lifetime Achievement. Shout out to Busta Rhymes because he is one of those artists that's kind of at the brink, you know what I'm saying? Where me personally, I'm a 90s baby. He was like a little early in my day, but he's just old enough to where the younger people of generation now come turn on the BET Awards and actually know who Busta Rhymes is. So I think the timing was right for that. Um, it was cool seeing him perform and go through all his music and his medley of songs and stuff and the people that he brought out. It was tight. Coi Leray was up there. Starting to like Coi Leray as a performer. She's out there doing her thing. At first, I didn't really know what she was gonna be, but I think she's out there doing her thing. She's a great performer, and maybe the music can do a little less sampling and just kind of do some original music now. Because that's one thing that I'm kind of getting tired of too. Like, let's get a little bit of originality. Everybody keeps remaking songs and just trying to sample old popular songs for them to go out and put it out and make some money off of. The one I'm really kind of mad about is the one with the Metro Boomin weekend. I don't want to know. It's like they just really just redid a song word for word and put it out, and all the youngins can kind of think it's the weekend now and don't even know about Mario Winans. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, man. It's just weird. The game is in a weird place. Busta Rhymes, when accepting his speech, he's like, all the petty little beefs, we gotta, turn them down, make some money, get back to making money, because hip hop, it's kind of, and it just kind of has a negative light in the media, man. It's like everybody thinks rap now has to be about doing drugs, shaking ass, how much money you got, how much jewelry you got, and the camaraderie is down. It's like most of the music we hear is about shooting each other and killing each other. We need to change that and get back to music making that'll make people move and just kind of bring a positive light back to hip hop because we make a lot of money over here. One of the highest listened to genres is we're doing ourselves a disservice by spreading negativity and acting upon it and sending all our rappers to jail just over street politics and stuff like that, which is kind of crazy, man. It is true. It's like we are building ourselves up to tear ourselves down, especially in the rap game. Either you get in rap beefs and somebody takes you out in that sense, or you get too rich and too braggadocious and somebody tries to take what you got. It's just a vicious cycle that we want to see change because rappers and stuff do a real big service to the music industry. They're featured in every type of music. They're influential to every other type of music. So, I mean, I just feel like, especially when the rappers get on the roll, is when people expect them to get taken down. So, I just want positive hip hop to stay in a positive light, and everything just get back to making money and making music. And bring back the individuals, individuality like we had in the early 2000s, where we had a bunch of artists that had a bunch of solid different fan bases, and not everybody make the same sound, and we just lose the artistry. It's just getting kind of crazy, man. Also there we saw some fights, some big news from the BET Awards. JT and Lil Uzi had a little spat. JT threw herself on a Lil Uzi apparently for talking to Ice Spice or having a little verse about Ice Spice in his performance, which was interesting to see. Everybody was making a big deal about that. Also, Cardi B and Offset, people saying that Cardi B cheated on Offset, which is a big deal, obviously, even though Offset cheated on Cardi B a bunch of times. They're just a couple that everybody looks at as like, a couple that hold to high regards, and everybody loves Cardi B and Offset. And especially for the rumor to be as Cardi B cheated, I think it actually makes it a bigger deal, which is kind of sad though, because he has been doing a couple, he publicly been doing shit wrong to Cardi B as far as cheating goes, but uh, yeah, I think it's the wrong time to do it now and have to come out. That's why it's kind of like the BET Awards is kind of messy for those things to actually happen and come out during that time. Also, we saw some good stuff though. We did see Quavo and Offset perform a tribute to Takeoff and come back to do some Migos songs, and we saw them kind of look like they mended fences a little bit and actually were together, and didn't seem fake at all. It looked really good to see, and it's a really good sight because it was seeming to get pretty bad. Quavo didn't really want to have anything to do with Offset, and they're talking shit to each other. And with the passing and Takeoff, I feel like they don't need to be bickering like that. They need to be, holding each other in close regard because they came up together as family basically, and they don't need to lose each other. They already lost one big part of their lives. That union is really special, and I think they should hold that together and still work together to do music because I feel like now, hopefully with not hopefully, but with this Cardi B stuff, Offset needs somebody, and Quavo seemed kind of depressed as well, losing Takeoff. So they need each other right now, and I feel like now is the best time for them to come together and just do it for Takeoff, man. Do it for Takeoff. But the BET Awards to wrap that up was interesting, man. I didn't really, again, it was interesting to me. I didn't really watch for any awards. It's an award show, and I didn't really watch any of the awards. But I know Lotto won best female rapper, and she was really happy about that. Shouts out to her for that. But shouts out to everybody else who won awards. But um, yeah, I wasn't really paying too much attention to it that much. But Young Thug's album, I know I talked about Gunna's album last episode, but Gunna's album or Young Thug, excuse me, album came out like a week after. And it was a lot of controversy behind that as well. Not really controversy, but it was highly anticipated, especially because it got dropped right after Gunna's album came out, and we still don't know exactly what's going on as far as Gunna and Young Thug's relationship. There was a supposed phone call that got leaked about Young Thug reaching out to Lil Durk or Lil Baby or whoever it was supposed to be to, saying that if you want to diss Gunna or retaliate to anything he said on the album, wait till my album comes out. I got a verse for you. You can do it in my album. But his sister said it was AI and everybody was claiming it was fake because we didn't hear that retaliation on the album. The album was pretty good, in my opinion, but I think it just kind of was like some loose songs that he had that were sitting around, um, that he kind of just put together and put on the album with a bunch of features on it that kind of were used to try to get people to, download and listen to and be really anticipated when he dropped that track list. Me personally, I don't think it was good as Gunna's album. And if you know me, I really like Young Thug a lot. He's one of my favorite artists as well. But I feel like this album wasn't really, sorry if I keep scratching my nose like about this nappy beard right now. It's just itching my nose and kind of making it itch a little bit. I'm sorry I didn't shave. I should have shaved, but sorry for the audio listeners. I didn't shave, so I'm looking a little rusty crusty. I'm gonna shave this beard, I promise. I'm gonna shave it this weekend. Next week I'll be clean shaven. But anyways, Young Thug's album again. It seemed like a bunch of a bunch of loose tracks that were given to Metro Boomin. It was like, clean this up and put it on the album. I'm put it out. Everybody's gonna listen to it, seeing if I respond any ways to Gunna or address the Gunna situation at all. And it had a bunch of good features. It had 2 Drake songs on it, a couple of Travis Scott songs, 21 Savage was on there a bunch of times. So the features themselves got people amped up and ready to download the album. And I feel like the fake feuding between them and the insinuation that Young Thug dropped the album to kind of try to compete with Gunna's album directly was going to spike the album's downloads as well, just to see if he said anything on there that was kind of detrimental. But pretty much their albums ended up doing the same numbers first week in the high 80,000s units the first week. And people were kind of saying, though, Young Thug still kind of put out and got almost the same amount of sales or streams units sales as him. There's a bunch of features on there. He had 2 Drake features, 2 Travis Scott features. So that was hot, heavy artillery to have on there. And it was produced by Metro Boomin. So for Gunna to have an album that almost sold the same amount of units without high end producers, no features, people were saying that's an excellent feat, especially going against Young Thug's album that had a whole bunch of features and it sold the same. Either way, I feel like Young Thug and them are gonna make some money, and I think they're using the beef that nobody really knows about as a marketing ploy to actually sell more units, and it's doing its thing. And Young Thug even dropped the deluxe, not really a deluxe, a couple of weeks later, had a couple extra songs on there that I think actually helped push the unit sales as well. So I'm not sure how it works. I'm not too industry with it, but Young Thug's album's out right now. Business on Business, Business is Business, I think it's called. Gunna, A Gift and a Curse is out right now. Listen to both of those, and you be a judge for yourself. I like them both, but I like Gunna's more, of course. Young Thug had a 17 songs strong. I didn't like every song, but He has some slappers on there. Again, I think it's just songs that he put out while he was in jail. He makes songs really fast, I feel like. So I think these songs were some stuff that he had sitting there that he can put out to make some money while he's fighting his case. So either way, it's good music. Go listen to them. Yeah. Let's move on to this.
It's the best of bias. You need the earful, you should try us. From pop culture to the movies to unite us. It's the best of bias. Your best of bias. Yeah.